Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler was born on April 20th, 1889 in Austria-Hungary. He was born in Austria-Hungary, close to the border with the German Empire. He was the fourth of six children born to Adolf Hitler and his third wife, Clara Pultz. Three of Hitler's siblings, Gustav, Ida, and Otto, died in infancy. He also lived with his two step-siblings, Alois Jr. and Angela. When Hitler was 3, the family moved to Passau, Germany. 1897, they moved again to Lambosch. An 8-year-old Hitler took singing lessons, sang in the church choir, and considered becoming a priest. Hitler's younger brother, Edmund, died in 1900 from measles. This changed Hitler after the death of his younger brother Edmund, and he saw things different in life, and he started to disobey his father and started to purposely do bad in school. Hitler only had loyalty for Germany, despising the declining Habsburg monarchy and its ruling over the empire. Hitler's father died on January 3rd, 1903. In 1907, Hitler left Linz to live in Vienna to study art. He was financed by orphans' benefits and support from his mother. He moved to Vienna to pursue art and his paintings. He applied to admissions to the Academy of Fine Arts of Vienna, but was rejected twice because they said he was not good enough. They said his paintings were unfitness for paintings. They said his paintings were unfit for the school, and they said he should go into architecture instead, but he could not pursue architecture because he did not have the education level for it. On December 21st, 1907, Hitler's mother died of breast cancer at the age of 47. This changed how Hitler saw the world again, because he was close to his mom. 2 years later, Hitler ran out of money and was forced to live homeless. Hitler lived homeless and became exposed to racism against other people from music. He became more into music from the racism and the things that they taught him. So on the left side, that is Alois Hitler, that is Hitler's father. And on the right side, that is Clara Hitler, which is Hitler's mother, which is the third wife to Adolf Hitler. So Hitler was rejected from the Academy of Fine Arts of Vienna twice and told he would be better in architecture. Hitler ran out of money 2 years after his mother died, and he started to live homelessly. He got exposed to music from racism, and the music spoke to him out of the racist words. He moved. So Hitler received the final parts of his father's estate in May 1913 and moved to Munich, Germany. Hitler was called up for the Austro-Hungarian army, but he was deemed unfit for service, so he returned to Munich once again. Hitler said he didn't want to serve the Habsburg Empire because of the mixture of races in its army, like Jews was the big one that he didn't want to be a part of. So these are some of Hitler's paintings, and he was more known for painting trees and buildings and just architecture things. So during World War I, Hitler was living in Munich and volunteering, and he was enlisted in the Bavarian army. He served as a dispatch runner on the Western Front in France and Belgium. He was at the Battle of Ypres, Battle of the Somme, Battle of Arras, and the Battle of Passchendaele, and was wounded at the Battle of Somme. He was decorated for bravery, received the Iron Cross, and received the Black Wounded Badge on May 18, 1918 from his leading officer, which was actually a Jewish leader. During the Battle of Somme, he was wounded in the left thigh when a shell exploded in the dispatcher's runner's dugout, then again was temporarily blinded in a mustard gas attack. When he was at the hospital, Hitler learned of Germany's defeat, and the Treaty of Versailles was an agreement where Germany would pay reparations. So Hitler made his earliest known recorded statement about Jews in a letter dated September 16, 1919. In the letter, Hitler argues that the aim of the government must unshakably be the removal of the Jews altogether. Hitler was discharged from the army on March 31, 1920, and began working full-time for the NSDAP, which is the Nazi group. The party headquarters was in Munich, and anti-government German nationalists determined to crush Marxism and determine the Weimar Republic. Hitler spoke to a crowd of 6,000 people. 2 truckloads of party supporters drove around Munich waving swastika flags. Hitler gained notorious for his rowdy, polemic speeches against the Treaty of Versailles, rival politicians, and against Marxists and Jews. This is the Beer Hall Putsch. In 1923, Hitler enlisted the help of World War I General Erich Ludendorff for an attempted coup known as the Beer Hall Putsch. So they worked together to come up against many of the political leaders and politicians. So Hitler wanted to eliminate Benito Mussolini's March on Rome of 1922 by staging his own coup in Bavaria, to be followed by a challenge to the government in Berlin. On November 8, 1923, Hitler and the SA stormed a public meeting of 3,000 people organized by CARE in the Bürgerbrau Kellner, a beer hall in Munich. He interrupted CARE's speech when he announced that the national revolution had begun and declared the formation of a new government with Ludendorff. Hitler pulled a gun out and demanded to get CARE's, Caesar, and Voslow's support. Hitler's forces initially succeeded in occupying the local Reichswehr and police headquarters, but CARE and his allies quickly withdrew their support. Before the next day followed up, the police headquarters, no one would support Hitler, so it was more of an attempted fail on Hitler's part. The next day, Hitler and his followers marched from the beer hall to the Bavarian War Ministry to overthrow the Bavarian government, but police arrested him. 16 NSDAP members, which are the Nazi members, and 4 police officers were killed during the failed coup. Hitler was arrested on November 11, 1923, for high treason. Alfred Rosenberg became temporary leader of the NSDAP on April 1st. Hitler was sentenced to 5 years in prison at Landsberg prison. He was pardoned on December 20th, 1924, and Hitler only served over 1 year in prison. Mein Kampf is Hitler's book. So while at Landsberg, Hitler dictated most of the first volume of Mein Kampf, which is in English by struggle, to his deputy Randolph Hess. The book laid out Hitler's plans for transforming German society into one based on race. Most of his passages talk about genocide. He published 2 volumes in 1925 and 1926. It sold 228,000 copies. Then in 1933, 1 million copies were sold, which is Hitler's first year in office.